Hello, and welcome to Hearth Story Modeled Lessons for our Read Aloud series. Today we're going to be talking about Shoebox Sam, and this lesson is perfect just before the holiday season as it touches on the idea that giving is just as important as receiving. Now in this lesson, we're going to touch on many social emotional learning skills, but we're going to pay particular focus on self-awareness and social awareness as we talk about understanding that everybody has a story to tell and how we can value, appreciate, and feed one another. Let's go ahead and look at 3 easy activities you can do at home or in the classroom when working with children. The first activity for our Shoebox Sam lesson series is a hook or conversation where we have children explore the idea that gifts are not just things we can hold or have, but can also be actions when people do kind things for us. We also want them to understand and recognize that it can feel great to be the giver just like the receiver. So to start off, have the kids share a time that someone gave them something special or did something kind for them. Have them share who it was that did that thing for them or gave them something, as well as how it made them feel to be the recipient. Now ask them to put themselves in the other person's shoes, to imagine what it felt like to be the giver and to think so kindly and so warmly about the receiver. What does it feel like when we think about what others need? What does it feel like to be able to give them something special or to do something wonderful for them? We want to take on perspective taking as well as empathy building in this exercise. We want kids to understand that people think about us when they give us gifts, and they think about us when they do something kind for us, and that when somebody does that, it feels really good for them too. And it also says a lot about how special we are to that person. As an extension, you can have your child write or draw about the experience of being the recipient, as well as what it must feel like to be the giver. We'll have prompts for that available in the PDF at our TPT Store, which is linked below. For the second activity, we'll be reading Shoebox Sam by Mary Bridget Barrett. If you don't have access to the book, check out our Read Aloud on our YouTube channel, where it's right there for you to read in your home, at your school, or virtually if you're working as a remote teacher. During this story, we'll learn about Sam, a man who owns a shoe store that refurbishes old shoes and gives them out to those in need. Now, Sam never asks anything in return, and 2 children who come to help him out one day understand and recognize the power of giving and caring and learning that everybody has a story. Sam is a great role model for these kids, and they come to learn and appreciate each of the characters that come and visit the shop throughout the day. Go ahead and read it now and check back when you're done. After reading the story, ask children to remember all the times that Sam gave of himself without asking anything in return. He fed people, he gave them socks and shoes, and he really valued and appreciated that everybody has a story to tell and needs that he wanted to help and support. Ask children who has helped and supported them in their lives and challenge them to think of ways that they can go ahead and pay it forward. Remind them of the conversation that it feels really, really good to give, just as much as it does to receive, if not even better. For the third activity, we're really just going to wrap it all up by bringing it back to the beginning and the idea that it feels just as good to be the giver as it does to be the receiver, because we're thinking about someone else and doing something special for them. Now, we've included this mindful moment in the PDF of the lesson at the Teachers Pay Teachers store, or you can access our track for Just a Minute Mindfulness for Kids on our YouTube channel. Before beginning, take 3 slow, calming breaths together and sit comfortably. As you read, remember to pause in between each sentence, allowing the children to reflect and think about the thoughts you're sharing together. After finishing the mindfulness activity, take 1 more deep breath together. To close out the lesson, ask children to share what they've learned about the power of giving. We've explored the idea of putting ourselves in the giver's shoes and recognize that when we give to others, we think about what they really want or need and selflessly help out without expecting anything in return. This is an important social awareness skill that also builds our self-awareness in becoming our best selves, who are equally generous givers as well as gracious receivers. Thank you for visiting us today at Hearth Story's YouTube channel and for also sharing Shoebox Sam with us and your children. It's been such a gift to share Shoebox Sam with you today. We hope that it put as big of a smile on your face as it did in our hearts. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep updated on new releases, and check our Heart Story homepage as well as our Teachers Pay Teacher store for more lesson plans, additional resources, and complimentary activities. Until next time, stay safe and be well.